The small town of Brookdale slept quietly that night, until gunshots split the silence. Inside a corner cafe, Emily Carter, a 34-year-old waitress, was finishing her shift. She'd stayed late to help a coworker clean up, humming softly as she locked the doors. That's when two patrol cars screeched up outside. Red and blue lights flooded the windows. Emily froze. "What in the world?" she whispered. 3 officers stormed in, shouting orders. "Hands up, you match the description of a suspect." Emily blinked in confusion. "Suspect? I just work here." But one officer, already on edge, didn't listen. He raised his gun. The flash came before she even realized he'd pulled the trigger. She collapsed to the floor, the sound echoing off the walls. The officers froze as realization hit. She wasn't armed. She wasn't resisting. She was bleeding out on the cafe floor. "Call it in," one shouted. She moved too fast. By the time paramedics arrived, the damage was done. Emily was rushed to the hospital, barely clinging to life. The story should have ended there. Another, mistaken identity, swept under the rug. But the officers didn't know who Emily's son was. Because at that very moment, Agent Ryan Carter, FBI Field Operations Chief, was boarding a flight home, and his phone began to ring. He listened in silence. The color drained from his face. Then, quietly, he said, "Keep them there. Don't let them clock out." And for the first time in Brookdale's history, the police station was about to learn what real justice looked like. By morning, the entire town knew something was wrong. The police station, usually quiet at dawn, was surrounded by black SUVs. Agents in dark suits moved with quiet precision, no yelling, no hesitation, just purpose. Inside, the 3 officers from the shooting sat pale-faced, whispering to each other. "What's going on? Why's the FBI here?" One muttered. The station doors swung open. Agent Ryan Carter walked in, tall, calm, every movement measured. His badge glinted under the fluorescent lights, but his eyes were darker than any of them had ever seen. The chief tried to speak. "Agent Carter, we were just..." Ryan cut him off. "Save it, I'm not here for statements. I'm here for answers." He walked straight to the table where the officers sat. One of them stood up nervously. "Sir, this was an accident." Ryan slammed a folder down in front of them. Inside were high-definition stills from the cafe's security cameras, Emily's empty hands raised, the flash of the gun, the look of horror on their faces. "An accident." Ryan's voice was calm, almost too calm. "You fired on an unarmed woman, my mother." Silence filled the room. One of the younger officers whispered, "Wait, she's your mom." Ryan leaned closer. "You didn't even run her ID. You didn't read her rights. You kicked in a door and fired before asking a question." The chief tried again, his voice trembling. "Agent Carter, we had a call about a robbery suspect." Ryan turned to face him, eyes sharp as glass. "And you sent 3 armed men after a waitress locking up a coffee shop." No one moved.